Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're taking a look at all the moments that took celebrities, musicians, athletes, and reporters from hero to zero in record time. And we're starting with stars who had their careers ruined from just one movie flop.
I am His Holiness the Guru Pitka. Welcome to my ashram, the Ecumenical Intuitive Enlightenment Initiative Organization, or EIO.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that bombed so hard it ruined actors' careers.
Hoya! We're gonna party all night long. That's right, having fun. Yes.
Well, that's great. You have fun. I've got to speak to someone.
Say hello to my little friend.
For this list, we'll be looking at any case of a film earning such negative box office and/or reviews that it was detrimental to someone's career. The performers might have bounced back or found work again, but these releases at least temporarily derailed their success. Did we forget an actor who suffered from a cinematic failure? Number 10. Dana Carvey, the Master of Disguise. Nearly a decade after leaving SNL, Dana Carvey got a chance to be the star of his own feature.
What is happening? I'm getting bigger. I got so fat.
The film showed off his talent for impressions, but it received negative reactions for its childish jokes and a less than convincing storyline. Carvey's abilities were stretched out into a movie that sometimes ranks among the worst comedies of its kind.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Is he okay?
Even with its limited financial success, The Master of Disguise was the comedian's last role before a lengthy film hiatus. He instead shifted his attention to his family and stand-up in the meantime. Other than the occasional appearance on late-night television or podcasts, the performer rarely acts in movies outside of voice work.
Suave, Terry Suave's the name. London, Scotland Yard, that sort of thing.
What do you want?
It's not what I want that matters, it's what the British government wants.
Number 9. Madonna, Swept Away. The Italian film Swept Away by Lina Wertmuller received a 21st century update courtesy of director Guy Ritchie.
The adventure is over.
The adventure is just starting for you, my friend. Just wait till my lawyer speaks to your captain.
The movie focuses on the story of two complete opposites surviving on a deserted island together. Playing the part of a snobby rich woman, Madonna was heavily criticized for her appearance in the love story.
I'll give you $100. 200.
Given that the singer and Ritchie were married at the time, there was even more spotlight on the two artists during that period. Some people noted that the film was inferior to the original, along with the performer's character being a divisive anti-hero.
But what difference does it make where we are? Please, I beg of you, let's stay. I love you.
The remake ended up being one of her last live-action roles, turning her attention back to music and touring in the years since. Number 8. Tom Green, Freddy Got Fingered. It's hard to believe that a movie called Freddy Got Fingered was released to the general public.
I'm not going to Hollywood just to work in a cheese sandwich factory. I'm going to Hollywood to shop my drawings. I'm going to be a famous animator like Charles Schultz.
Directed by, written by, and starring Tom Green, the film was a provocative comedy with some truly controversial jokes. Green had momentary attention from this film and other projects, such as his MTV show, but the reaction to the former halted any major career progress.
For your information, this is me being creative. Betty told me this is what I need to do in order to become an artist.
Oh yeah, is it working?
While much of his comedy from that period has developed a cult following, he's mainly steered towards his own stand-up and more talk shows in the intervening years. Green has yet to return to the level of stardom he achieved in the early 2000s.
Just give me $100,000 in cash. Put the rest in my checking savings account.
What do you want with $100,000, Gord?
Number 7. Alicia Silverstone, Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin wasn't kind to any of its main stars, including Alicia Silverstone.
Bruce, it's me, Barbara. I found the Batcave.
We gotta get those locks changed.
She knows who we are.
Guess we'll just have to kill her.
Yep, we'll kill her later. We have work to do.
She had built up a reputation for her charismatic turn in Clueless, and was touted to be another huge star. After the release of the most panned Batman film ever, Silverstone started to disappear from larger Hollywood productions. Her appearance as Batgirl didn't inspire confidence in filmmakers at the time, earning her a Razzie Award and a mixed reception for the role.
Barbara, I hope you'll stay with us.
Oh, but sir, we...
Oh, I don't know. All this luxury really isn't my style, but, yeah, I'd love to.
Films like Blast from the Past and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed offered her supporting parts through the end of the 90s and the 2000s. Participating in theater, the actor also spent the next few decades exploring different artistic avenues.
Is that at Oxbridge?
Well, just a few judo lessons, London's kind of rough.
I suppose you had a minor in motorbikes also, huh?
Oh, couldn't resist.
Number 6. Carrot Top, chairman of the board. Love him or not, Carrot Top is widely known as a premier prop comic.
Check it out, as usual, I got all kinds of stuff I want to show you guys. Check it out, this is a new baseball glove for the striking baseball players. We want more money! We want more money! Woo!
His rise to fame in the 90s spawned several TV appearances and this film. Chairman of the Board captures the performer's wackiness in a movie that didn't go over well with audiences. With bizarre casting choices, including Raquel Welch, the strange plot about an inventor taking over a corporation failed to connect on a comedic level.
$23 million? That's a lot of snapballs! Woohoo! Thank you, sir. I've always loved the law.
The movie didn't even crack $1 million at the box office, unable to transplant Carrot Top's success into the film world. Instead of taking a starring role in another project, he focused on his live comedy and developed a show in Las Vegas at the Luxor Hotel.
Without further ado, ta-da! The device that's gonna rock the world!
Number 5. Gina Davis, Cutthroat Island.
It's a map to Cutthroat Island, the buried treasure of a Spanish gold ship. More gold, jewels, and plunder than you've ever dreamed of.
Winning an Academy Award and starring in commercial films in the 80s and early 90s, Gina Davis was a surefire choice to star in Cutthroat Island in 1995. The swashbuckling adventure story partnered Davis up with Matthew Modine in a big-budget production. Audiences in the middle of the decade were not compelled by the material, and it became a historic box office bomb.
Guarded by those who never grow old.
And your grandfather was the only one that came back.
Despite the talent and money on display, this pirate movie proved to be a substantial setback in the actor's career. The next few years saw less roles for her as an above-the-title star, positioning her as a supporting actor instead. Next to a few parts in television, she started working in the 2000s to promote female representation in media.
Hey, it's all right. It's okay. I'm okay. You got it all, didn't you?
Number 4. Taylor Kitsch, John Carter. John Carter was set to be a huge Disney live-action epic.
Whatever it is you suppose I owe you, our country, or any other beloved cause, I have already paid.
Instead of breaking records in a good way, the movie was among the biggest failures of its kind. The film's star, Taylor Kitsch, could have likely gone on to greater success, but this disastrous release stalled his trajectory as a future box office star.
I'm not for hire. I've got a cave of gold of my own. Somewhere.
He reappeared in films like Lone Survivor, but it seemed like the fallout from the sci-fi adventure had dashed any chances of him attaining leading man status. Any plans for a sequel were also ditched, despite original plans to the contrary. Kitsch has found more success in television since John Carter, whereas his future in cinema remains unclear.
We ride for Sudeika!
Number 3. Jamie Kennedy, Son of the Mask.
Okay, buddy. It's just you and me this morning. And we're gonna have fun and gonna play.
Jamie Kennedy was never a massive star, but he received several chances to reach a bigger audience.
If you were the only suspect in a senseless bloodbath, would you be standing in the horror section?
Well, it was just a misunderstanding.
After his role in Scream and his own prank show, this part in Son of the Mask was a big break for him as a potential comedy star. Instead of capturing the spirit of the original, the film was a jumbled mix of endless gags without the edge of Jim Carrey's presence. Audiences largely steered away from the spin-off and its lack of genuine star power. Kennedy took on a significant amount of criticism, and after the film, his opportunities in Hollywood seemed to largely fade away. He's managed to pave his own path in lesser-known movies, but this critical failure was a negative flashpoint for his career.
Alvy, look at me. It's your dad. There's no more superpowers.
Number 2. Mike Myers, The Love Guru.
Waking pudding, I can't take this. Not again. What? Why?
In the 90s, Mike Myers was synonymous with hilarious comedy in both television and film.
Very shagadelic, baby. Yeah!
The actor finished out his spy trilogy, Austin Powers, in the early 2000s, later focusing on an original idea called The Love Guru. The result? was one of Meyer's biggest critical and commercial misfires. Parodying Bollywood cinema, the movie doesn't have the same fresh energy as Meyer's previous work. Ineffective and unflattering for the star, the project didn't impress audiences. The resulting effect dulled the actor's hold on Hollywood and compelled him to take a step back from leading roles. He's slowly climbing out of this less successful period, having developed his own Netflix series called The Pentaverate.
The Pentaverate is a benevolent, fully sequestered secret society of 5 men.
Number 1. Elizabeth Berkley, Showgirls.
Where are you from? Back east. From where back east? Different places.
Saved by the Bell introduced Elizabeth Berkley to the world in the late 80s.
1, 2, 3, bang! 1, 2, 3, stretch! 1, 2, 3, bang!
By the time the show ended in the mid-90s, it was fair to say that the actor wanted to take a dramatic leap forward into films. Her opportunity came with the making of Paul Verhoeven's panned film Showgirls. Instead of being a gritty look into the life of a dancer, the project comes off like a parody of itself.
Did you enjoy that out there? Yeah, darling, I think I did. I hate you.
Berkley's performance was widely derided along with the rest of the production. While it wasn't entirely her fault, the film left a stain on her future as a leading woman. Some supporting parts allowed the performer to continue her career, but this was the last recognizable role for her.
You think you could do my nails now? Huh.
Our next list is going to put the spotlight on musicians, only they had their music videos backfire in the most spectacular of ways.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most controversial music videos that directly or indirectly had a negative impact on the artist's reputation.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Number 10, Hate Me Now, Nas featuring Puff Daddy. Nas's 1999 single Hate Me Now received equal love from both fans and critics. However, when the music video premiered, it set many tongues wagging. In the original cut, Nas portrayed Jesus being crucified with Sean Combs as Puff Daddy playing a criminal beside him. The video received backlash for this depiction, but the internal conflict that arose was even more damaging. After consulting with his religious leader, Combs, who was a Catholic, requested his crucifixion scenes be edited out. Nevertheless, the unedited version aired on MTV's Total Request Live. This infuriated Combs, who stormed the office of Nas's manager, Steve Stout, and allegedly attacked him. Stout sued Combs as a result and reached a $500,000 out-of-court settlement. Number 9, Get Her Back, Robin Thicke.
I gotta get her, go, get her, go, get her, go, get her back.
In 2013, Robin Thicke soared to pop music stardom with his ubiquitous hit, Blurred Lines. The following year, however, his career took a nosedive when he tried using music to win back his then-wife, Paula Patton. Thicke released Get Her Back, a bizarre apology song with an even more bizarre music video. It featured the artist battered and bloodied singing right into the camera, while apparent text messages between the couple floated on the screen. Oddly, it also included a random woman caressing his body, which perhaps wasn't the wisest addition to a plea for forgiveness. Get Her Back clearly failed in its mission and ultimately contributed to tanking whatever was left of Thicke's career.
Music has always been my diary, my therapy, and I guess that time it didn't work, you know.
Number 8, Swish Swish, Katy Perry featuring Nicki Minaj.
They just strut. What the?
Prior to her 2017 effort, Witness, Katy Perry was a dominant force in pop music. But when the album's singles were rolled out, each less interesting than the last, many felt Perry had perhaps lost her creative spark. The final nail in the coffin seemingly came with Swish Swish.
Swish, swish, bish.
While the song itself was praised for its themes of empowerment, the lackluster music video received the complete opposite reaction. Overcrowded with celebrity cameos and lame attempts at comedy that were more embarrassing than funny, this clip was, to put it nicely, terrible. It certainly left a bad taste in everyone's mouths, as Swish Swish was the last single from the album to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. Number 7. Shush Up, Allison Gold. Throughout music history, numerous teens and tweens have aspired to become the next pop sensation. In the early 2010s, Allison Gold was one such hopeful, making her solo debut in 2013 with the critically panned Chinese Food. The following year, Gold released Shush Up, another poorly received song accompanied by a highly controversial music video. The clip, which featured suggestive themes and inappropriate costumes, faced heavy backlash, much of which was directed at Gold's producer, Patrice Wilson. This led to a petition aimed at preventing Wilson, who was also responsible for the infamous Rebecca Black song Friday, from exploiting other young artists.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately, the video was removed from Wilson's official YouTube channel, and Gold quietly disappeared from the spotlight. Number 6. Don't Tell Me How to Live, Kid Rock.
Go, you hoes! Detroit till I die, motherfucker!
Known for his controversial behavior and utterances, Kid Rock decided to up the ante in 2021 with the release of Don't Tell Me How to Live. The song compiled practically all his past derogatory comments, while taking aim at his critics and, of course, woke culture. To make matters worse, the rap rock artist put out a cringeworthy music video, in which he dons a fur coat and flips off the camera an inordinate number of times. Then, just in case you missed just how little he cared about your opinions, he is launched into space on a giant middle finger. It was such a ridiculous show that many mistook it for a Weird Al Yankovic parody. Number 5. Big Bad Wolf, Duck Sauce. This bizarre clip certainly lives up to its title as Billboard's most disturbing video of 2011.
The Big Bad Wolf. The Big Bad Wolf. The Big Bad Wolf.
A full year after the release of their 2010 hit Barbra Streisand, the legendary electronic music duo Duck Sauce returned with Big Bad Wolf. While the song itself is pretty catchy, the music video puts an absurd twist on the phrase, well endowed. The premise follows two ordinary working men who are revealed to be packing the heads of the band members between their legs. This concept generated quite the controversy, and the song failed to match the success of their previous hits. Unfortunately, it became the last song by Duck Sauce to chart in the UK. Number 4. My Jeans, Jenna Rose featuring Baby Triggy. Before Rebecca Black became the face of cringeworthy teen pop in the early 2010s, there was Jenna Rose. In 2010, Rose teamed up with another young artist named Baby Triggy to put out My Jeans. The music video, released in October that year, immediately went viral, but not for the right reasons. The cheesy lyrics and painfully auto-tuned vocals gave the same sensation as watching a car crash.
Ha 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 ha, jack my swag.
It was impossible to look away. Whichever adult was making the decisions here clearly needed another adult to supervise them. This could very well have been the start of two promising careers in music, but after this video, everyone turned their gaze to something else and never looked back.
She wore those jeans like me.
Number 3. Literally I Can't, Play and Skills featuring Red Foo, Lil Jon, and Inertia McFly. In the early 2010s, it was near impossible to escape LMFAO. The duo, consisting of Sky Blue and Red Foo, had two massive chart-topping hits, but then went on an indefinite hiatus in 2012. Subsequently, Red Foo kicked off a solo career, which essentially came to a screeching halt after he was featured on the controversial song Literally I Can't. The accompanying music video depicted a raucous frat party where a group of sorority girls are forced to drink despite voicing their objection by repeating the song's title.
A shot of vodka. I can't. Tequila. I can't. At the party. I can't. Literally, I can't. Literally, I can't. Literally, I can't. Literally, I can't. Oh my God!
It was heavily criticized for being misogynistic and led to a petition calling for Red Foo's removal as a judge on Australia's The X Factor. His career sputtered afterwards with just one album, which literally was a commercial flop. Number 2, Hello Kitty, Avril Lavigne. The fourth single from Avril Lavigne's self-titled album, Hello Kitty, was an ode to the artist's love for the titular Japanese brand. Nevertheless, the accompanying music video, which featured Lavigne in a hyper-stereotyped version of Japanese culture, was deemed offensive by fans and critics alike. The combination of Lavigne's image, the seemingly vapid lyrics, as well as the neon and anime-inspired visuals felt like a misguided attempt to cash in on the latest trend. And it sure didn't help that the song's EDM influence was a far cry from her established sound.
Meow.
Hello Kitty certainly left a stain on Lavigne's discography, as she has only charted one other song in the US since. Number 1, Rock Me Tonight, Billy Squier. In the 80s, many rock stars maintained a macho image that carried on through their songs, live performances, and music videos. For a brief moment during that period, Billy Squier was a rising star, with 2 of his albums reaching the top 5 on the Billboard 200. However, this rapid rise was essentially paralyzed with the release of 1984's Rock Me Tonight. The song itself was pretty successful, but the music video could be described as the exact opposite of the so-called macho rock star image. With cheesy choreography from future High School Musical director Kenny Ortega, the video mostly featured Squier dancing and writhing around a room by himself. The vibe change didn't go down well with many young rock fans and significantly affected sales of Squier's subsequent music. Squier says the whole thing is an MBA course in how a video can go totally wrong. Did we miss any other career-poisoning music videos?
The pressure athletes are under is undoubtedly immense. And as we're about to see, sometimes it takes just one disastrous play to unravel their careers.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 athletes who ruined their careers in one play.
Marshall is running the wrong way, and he's running it into the end zone the wrong way, thinks he scored a touchdown, he has scored a safety. No good. Wide right.
It looked as if Tyson bared his teeth at one stage in the exchange.
Yes,
bit his ear.
He bit his ear. That's what Holyfield was in a lot of pain from that.
For this list, we're looking at actions and plays that occurred in games that had a negative impact on an athlete's career or legacy. Which of these moments stood out the most to you? Number 10, Mark Sanchez. During a 2012 Thanksgiving game, the New York Jets trailed 14-0 against the New England Patriots in the second quarter. Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez seemed to be confused with what play they were running, and in desperation ran straight into the butt of fellow teammate Brandon Moore, fumbling the ball.
And then Sanchez gets hit, the ball is loose, and it's alive, and then going into the end zone is Steve Gregory, who's had an interception, 2 fumble recoveries, and a touchdown.
Gosh. The Patriots would not only recover the ball, but score in the process.
Mark Sanchez not expecting it, and it was the backside of Brandon Moore that knocked the ball out.
A quarterback who was once meant to herald a new era and bring an end to the Jets' misery, the butt fumble spelled the beginning of the end for Mark Sanchez's career.
I think the play was a microcosm of Mark Sanchez's career. He ultimately never mastered the most important element of playing quarterback in the NFL, ball security.
Number 9, Luis Suarez. During Uruguay's final group stage match against Italy at the 2014 World Cup, Uruguayan striker Suarez decided to bite down on Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini.
It looks to me, dare I say it, that he's had a little bite at Chiellini. Surely not again.
This isn't Suarez's first time sinking his teeth into opponents. In fact, he's done it twice before.
Something went on. And Suarez does. He does exactly that.
Although he wasn't reprimanded during the game, FIFA later banned him from 9 international games, as well as all football for 4 months, and fined him a total of 100,000 Swiss francs.
The player Luis Suarez is banned from taking part in any kind of football-related activity, administrative, sport, or any other, for a period of 4 months in accordance with Article 22 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code.
Interestingly enough, before the tournament, Suarez insisted he'd sworn off those antics and didn't deserve his bad boy image. Well, this incident would not only prove that he does deserve it, but has earned it for life, in turn casting a dark shadow over his career.
Que uno en ese momento era difícil de aceptarlo y bueno, después uno es consciente de que lo mejor que tiene que hacer uno es cuando se equivoca es pedir perdón y así fue, tampoco.
Number 8, Nick Anderson. In Game 1 of the 1995 NBA Finals against the Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic's Nick Anderson needed to make one shot after being fouled with 10.5 seconds left to give Orlando the series lead.
Today, though, Orlando 12 of 15 at the line, and Anderson missing on both, but gets to the rebound and again draws the foul.
After missing both of his free throw attempts, he got another chance to make things right after the Rockets were charged with yet another foul. Instead, it was just another wasted opportunity.
That's in effect, I believe, yes. And he misses 4 straight. The Rockets take a timeout with 5 6/10 seconds remaining.
This mental break would prove costly, as Houston would send the game to overtime and eventually sweep the Magic, en route to becoming repeat champions. Looking back, Anderson stated that, quote, "I tried not to let it affect me, but my confidence wavered." Having since been labeled Nick the Brick and Brick Anderson, his scoring and free throw percentage plummeted, and he was never the same player.
And the reaction of Nick Anderson knowing that if he had just made one of those, it would have given the Magic a hammerlock on this game.
Number 7, Zinedine Zidane.
Well, there's what preceded it. Materazzi just put an arm round him. There was nothing more than an exchange of a few words. Well, what was said, that was ridiculous.
This was probably the last way anybody expected the French team captain Zinedine Zidane to end his career. During the 2006 World Cup final match, Zizou was constantly jawing with Italian player Marco Materazzi. Eventually, the trash-talking came to a head, literally. After an exchange of words, Zidane proceeds to headbutt Materazzi's chest, knocking him to the ground. Zidane was subsequently handed a red card and sent off. Italy would go on to win the game after outscoring France during the penalty shootout, where Zidane's presence and scoring ability was clearly missed. Although Zizou still had an illustrious career, it's this very incident that will be forever etched in our memories.
You can't excuse that. Zidane's career ends in disgrace.
Number 6, Chris Webber. In the final seconds of the championship game at the 1993 NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament, Chris Webber of the Michigan Wolverines suffered a couple of mental mistakes. After grabbing a rebound from a missed UNC free throw, Webber travels, runs up the court into a double team where he calls timeout.
Michigan will have to bring it.
Oh, he walked and the referee missed it.
Weber brings it into the front court. They have no timeouts remaining.
Oh, he causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
He called a timeout. Michigan doesn't have any.
Michigan had none left, however, and a technical foul was called, giving UNC 2 free throws and possession of the ball. This lapse in judgment put the game out of reach.
Maybe in the rush of the moment, Jim, going down there trying to beat 2 men, realizing it was 11 seconds on the clock, he just blanked out in regard to the fouls.
While the blunder is still brought up, it didn't have a lasting impact on Webber's NBA career, as he would declare for the 1993 draft a few weeks later, where he was picked first overall and played nearly 15 seasons. Number 5, J.R. Smith. When you're facing one of the most dominant NBA teams of the decade, make sure you know the score. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for J.R. Smith in Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. After grabbing the rebound from a missed free throw, J.R. gave the Cavs a chance to win.
Hill misses. Rebound goes to the Cavs. J.R. Smith brings it back out. Throws it to Hill. Hill shot blocked. And we'll go to overtime.
Instead, Smith ran out the clock. much to the chagrin of a visibly frustrated LeBron James, before realizing the game was still tied. The Warriors would later not only beat the Cavaliers in overtime, but went on to sweep the entire series. To this day, many consider this blunder one of the worst gaffes in NBA history.
You talk about asleep at the wheel. I got to tell you something right now. That is as inexcusable of a mistake as you can possibly make.
Don't feel too bad, though. Smith did win a championship with the Cavs back in 2016 and is also fresh off another with the Los Angeles Lakers.
And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble, and banner number 17 will soon hang in the rafters.
Number 4, Bill Buckner.
In 22 Major League seasons, Buckner had more than 2,700 hits. He won a batting title. But in most minds, his career was reduced to one moment behind the bag at Shea Stadium.
If you ever hear someone say you Bucknered it, it is not a compliment. With the game tied during the 1986 World Series, the Red Sox were 1 out away from ending the 10th inning. Mets batter Mookie Wilson hit the ball straight up the first baseline, and it rolled past Buckner's glove, resulting in a Boston loss.
Little roller up along first, behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
This forced a Game 7, which the Mets would go on to win. Although it was no guarantee the Sox would have won the World Series had Buckner not misplayed the ball, the iconic moment added to the curse of the Bambino and extended Boston's championship drought another 18 years until 2004. Fans at the time went so far as to send Buckner death threats, believing he cost them the title.
Hopefully it's Bill Buckner in the 86 World Series, but he was a pretty good player. Leave it at that.
Number 3, Roberto Baggio. It's no easy feat making a penalty kick. But when you're premier Italian soccer player Roberto Baggio, you have to find the back of the net. The 1994 FIFA tournament final came down to a shootout, and it was up to Baggio to keep Italy's hopes alive against Brazil. All he had to do was make one shot. There was no reason to believe Baggio couldn't do it, considering his ability to pull through in the clutch and the fact that he contributed to much of Italy's success during the World Cup, having scored 5 goals in their last 3 games. However, when it came time to shoot the ball, he sliced it way over the net, and with the miss, Brazil claimed their 4th championship.
He's missed it, and Brazil win the World Cup.
Arguably the best player of the tournament, it's this moment that would define his career. Looking back at the mishap, he stated that, quote, "It felt exactly as you would expect."
This moment may well be the enduring image for many, but Baggio's 5 goals and majestic tournament performance had still done more than enough to make his nation proud and prove his ability on the world stage.
Number 2, Marty McSorley. It's something you never want to see in hockey or any sport. In the closing seconds of a game between the Boston Bruins and Vancouver Canucks, Bruins enforcer Marty McSorley slashed Vancouver's Donald Brashear in the head. The brutal attack left Brashear unconscious on the ice with a grade 3 concussion. McSorley, for his part, claimed he was trying to tap Brashear on the shoulder to start a fight. A British Columbia judge found him guilty of assault with a weapon, and he was sentenced to 18 months on probation. The NHL suspended him for an entire year, and during that time, his contract lapsed. He never played another NHL game.
But at the other side of that, I'm really comfortable with the fact that people want to view that or whatever, that ended your career, what have you. I'm comfortable with the fact that I went out the same way I came in.
On the other hand, Brashear returned to action a few months later and continued his NHL career for another 9 seasons. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Mitch Williams. The Toronto Blue Jays win the World Series after Wild Thing Williams gave up this walk-off home run.
Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win it! The Blue Jays are World Series champions!
Joe Pisarcik. This quarterback is best remembered for this infamous fumble in the final moments of the Miracle at the Meadowlands.
Wait a minute, here's a free foot, I don't believe it! The Eagles pick it up and Herman Edwards runs it in for a touchdown! An incredible development.
Leon Lett. The lesson here, don't start celebrating until you know you've scored.
And right fumbles, picked up by Leon Lett. Can he go all the way? It's a 60-yard run. He's being chased by Beebe. Watch out.
Did he get across? No, they are not. That's going to be a touchback to Buffalo.
There's no call yet, though.
Tony Romo, the infamous mishandled snap.
19-yard field goal attempt. Oh, it is fumbled by Romo, and then Romo's going to run to the end zone, and he's going to get tackled by Jordan Babineau. Amazing.
Patrick Steffen. What better way to show you're a draft bust than by missing an empty net?
Bergeron fans on a pass. Steffen steals and he'll ice it. Oh, at least I thought he was gonna until he blew it. That's unbelievable. Here come the Oilers the other way, and Hemsky's loose. Hemsky, he scored! Can you believe what we just saw?
Number 1, Todd Bertuzzi. Tensions were high when the Vancouver Canucks faced off against the Colorado Avalanche on March 8, 2004. The Canucks targeted Avs player Steve Moore for a questionable hit on their captain Marcus Naslund that went unpenalized. In the third period, Canucks forward Todd Bertuzzi sucker punched Moore and pushed him to the ice, and a bench-clearing brawl erupted.
Grabs his shoulder, having a little chat with him, grabs his sweater, gives him a whack, and piling on is Andrei Nikolic, and everybody's into it. Now we get a line brawl.
Moore was left seriously injured, with 3 fractured vertebrae and a concussion.
And he wanted to send him a message, but I don't think this is the message Bertuzzi wanted to send him.
The injuries were so severe that Moore would never play again.
Steve, I just want to apologize for what happened out there. But I had no intention on hurting you, and I feel awful for it.
Although Bertuzzi would return to the game after multiple court hearings, suspensions, and fines, any attempt at a comeback was simply out of reach. His production decreased, he bounced around different teams, and was constantly booed and heckled by opposing teams' fans. Things were never the same for Bertuzzi after this ugly incident.
Reality TV is a great way of getting exposure. However, sometimes what the camera catches can destroy it all. Take a look.
My wife's a lawyer now. I bet you I get out this contract. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the celebrities that starred in popular reality TV shows, only to see their rising careers or personal lives be negatively affected as a result.
You're making this so tough. What would I say?
Number 20, John and Kate Gosselin. In 2007, after the success of some specials detailing their lives with sextuplets and twins, John and Kate Gosselin secured a long-term series. Originally known as John and Kate Plus 8, the show was a big success for TLC, until 2009.
Can you clear the air and fill us in on what's going on between you and Kate?
Yeah, Kate and I have decided to separate.
At that point, John and Kate had split and were going through a messy divorce. The show then became a place where a lot of their dirty laundry was aired publicly.
Oh, that's just gross.
Police interventions, lawsuits, custody battles, and affairs were just some of the issues that were put in the spotlight.
Clearly, we had 2 completely different sets of views on life, on child raising, on everything.
After the show ended in 2017, neither John nor Kate Gosselin reached the same level of Hollywood fame. Number 19, Gillian McKeith. Arriving in the jungle for the UK's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2010, Gillian McKeith was seen as a quirky TV presenter. After all, she had hosted various health shows and been obsessed with a certain human bodily function, gaining her infamy. But this TV appearance was bad for her career health. On top of complaining a lot, McKeith became infamous for her dramatically fainting when she was chosen to do a live trial.
Let's get bobbing.
After being voted off, McKeith fell into relative obscurity. She still was willing to give a South African season of the show that made her infamous a try in 2023. However, McKeith was quickly voted off. Number 18, Kelly Price. Starting as a backup dancer for Mariah Carey in 1992, Kelly Price became a breakout star when she released a series of albums and singles from 1998. By 2013, she signed up to feature in the show R&B Divas Los Angeles, a spin-off of R&B Divas Atlanta. Price was criticized for coming across as confrontational and mean. As such, social media was rife with anti-Price messages.
But we are introducing stuff that took place off camera, which instigated stuff that did happen on camera.
She's trying to vindicate herself.
I don't need to
victimized by production.
Do you think I don't need to vindicate myself?
Shortly after it aired, the singer spoke in interviews that the show's producers skewered her behavior to make her look bad. After one season, Price left the show. She's only had a handful of musical successes since. Number 17, Jane Middlemiss. In the first series of Love Island, a dramatic love triangle between ex-footballer Lee Sharp, model Abby Titmus, and TV presenter Jane Middlemiss emerged. The situation made for a lot of drama and put all three figures firmly in the spotlight. Although Middlemiss won the competition, she didn't find instant success. It might have had something to do with insulting Titmus regularly on the show, something she later described as coming across as a, quote, jealous 12-year-old.
It's quite liberating because when I show up somewhere, I can just be me without having to go, hello, yes, I would like a job, please. I go, yeah, all right, yeah, brilliant.
While she appeared in other programs, Middlemiss's TV appearances became more sporadic after 2013. She instead focused on her passion for yoga before hosting a show on Virgin Radio. Number 16, David Otunga. Nowadays, David Otunga is known as the former wrestler and ex of Jennifer Hudson. Yet back in 2007, he was a lawyer with the prestigious firm Sidley Austin. Otunga threw a curveball at his career prospects when he appeared under the nickname Punk on I Love New York. He actually made it to the final 3. Additionally, he quickly found success in the wrestling realm. While reality TV led to small-screen fame, it allegedly strained his relationship with the firm. Fortunately for Otunga, he seemed happy to step back from full-time law to pursue his other interests.
I went in and I made the biggest decision of my life. Everybody thought I was crazy, but I gave up that dream job at the law firm, and people were shocked.
Number 15, Courtney Robertson. Everyone loves a villain on reality TV, and in season 16 of The Bachelor, that honor fell onto the shoulders of Courtney I didn't come here to make friends Robertson. She regularly collided with other contestants by insulting them and being aggressive in the pursuit of Ben Flajnik.
Hey you.
Whoa! In the end, Robertson's approach paid off, and she was proposed to. But after the show, Robertson received lots of negative messages from fans. She claimed she even had to shut off a modeling email account due to the flood of hate.
We all came here for the same reason, for Ben, and I'm sorry for the things I've said, and if I've hurt your feelings, anyone, everyone, I'm really sorry for that. I hope you guys can find it in your hearts to forgive me.
In the end, the engagement was broken off, and Robertson backed away from TV, but made the best of her setbacks by writing a best-selling book about her experiences. Number 14, Carly Red. Many people have used reality shows as a stepping stone to their goal of becoming an actor, and that was the case for Carly Red when she signed on for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. While on the show, she became known for clashing with castmates and stirring the pot. After becoming known as an antagonist, she tried to audition for a Tyler Perry project. According to Red, producers rejected her based on her reality career, and she claims that wasn't the only instance of being turned down due to her past. Red's most high-profile acting role has been on the soap opera Saints and Sinners. If she had never appeared on Love and Hip Hop, it's possible she might have nabbed even more notable roles.
How much longer do you see yourself doing Love and Hip Hop?
I don't know. I'm
still
just taking it day at a time.
And
I love it. And it's a great platform for my stores.
Number 13, Omarosa Manigault Newman.
With Omarosa, it's either her way or it's no way.
Prior to appearing on The Apprentice, Newman worked in Vice President Al Gore's office. But her public image shifted after this reality appearance. During the show, Newman seemingly sparked a working relationship with Donald Trump. They went on to collaborate on several projects like the infamous Celebrity Apprentice. Her rivalry with Piers Morgan and abrasive style caused her to be publicly disliked.
I knew his weak spots, and I exploited them.
The mother of your children hates you, Piers, and your children hate you, Piers. They're embarrassed by you.
Leave my kids out of it.
On a larger scale, Newman was hired to work within Trump's White House, but things spiraled for her after she was fired from the administration. Newman went on to take a number of public shots against Trump. At this point, it's unclear if she can regain the reputation she had before teaming up with him on reality TV. Number 12. Chris Bukowski. After appearing on Season 8 and then returning in Season 10 of The Bachelorette, Chris Bukowski popped up in Bachelor Pad and multiple seasons of Bachelor in Paradise. But his time in the series wasn't all sunshine and fun. Bukowski had spoken about the strain that being labeled as a villain of reality TV has put on him.
I mean, I don't know Chris, but like he's done other shows, you know, Bachelor and Bachelor Pad. I don't know his motives, but through the grapevine, I heard he's not a great guy. I hope he's not thinking about stealing anybody's women.
At one point, he felt unable to run a restaurant due to the emotional and mental toll of being an entertainment star. After quitting the franchise for several years, Bukowski focused on other career goals. He eventually returned to win Season 6 of Bachelor in Paradise. But for a time, Bukowski's career was in serious jeopardy. Number 11. Tyga. At one point, Tyga was one of the hottest up-and-coming rappers around. But in 2014, rumors circulated that the mid-20s rapper was in a relationship with the 16-year-old Kylie Jenner. The age of consent in California is 18. By the time the couple officially confirmed their relationship 2 years later, Tyga began appearing on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The show drew more attention to their criticized relationship. It got worse when an underage girl accused Tyga of contacting her repeatedly in 2016. After breaking up with Jenner in 2017 and leaving the show, Tyga's music career floundered and hasn't quite recovered to what it once was.
It was a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
That was in front of the world, and that was it.
Number 10. Heidi Montag. Bursting into the reality sphere with Laguna Beach, The Real Orange County, and The Hills, Heidi Montag's relationship with Lauren Conrad resonated with fans. But that all changed when Spencer Pratt joined the cast and started dating Montag. Over time, the relationship drove a wedge between the friends. Fans quickly grew sick of Montag and Pratt because the duo argued often. Additionally, Conrad accused the pair of starting a rumor that she had made an intimate video. By the time Pratt admitted to doing so later, the Montag-Conrad friendship was broken beyond repair.
I want to forgive you, and I want to forget you.
Yeah. Well, it was great seeing you. The apartment looks great, and I hope you have a great life.
Montag and Pratt have toyed with the public about their relationship and appeared on several reality shows together since then, but their success outside of that specific TV format has been relatively limited. Number 9. Mark Bannerman. In his early days, Mark Bannerman's acting career looked to be taking off. He spent 2 years as a regular on UK soap opera EastEnders and followed it with the spin-off show Footballer Wives Extra Time. But everything fell apart when Bannerman entered the jungle in 2007 for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Although he was shown getting romantic with fellow contestant Karis Matthews, he was dating Sarah Matraverse at the time. After being the first to be voted off, his relationship with Matraverse and his reputation were left in tatters. Bannerman's career never recovered.
It's torturous, really. So I've had enough. It just seems like he's gone completely insane.
Instead, he appeared in odd episodes of TV shows, films, and in A Landscape of Lies, a movie reportedly made as part of a tax fraud scheme. Number 8. Chad Johnson.
You know, we're getting ready to get married. You
How
ready?
do you feel about it?
I am stoked.
If only Chad Ochocinco Johnson had left his temper on the football field. Problems started for Johnson, a then star in the National Football League, when he struck up a relationship with Evelyn Lozada, a cast member of the drama-filled reality series Basketball Wives. The two quickly tied the knot, but people were shocked when Chad was accused of headbutting Evelyn during an argument.
The popular wide receiver, who once changed his name to Ocho Cinco to match the number 85 on his jersey, now charged with headbutting his wife of just over a month, Evelyn Lozada.
Unsurprisingly, this spelled the end of the marriage, not to mention Ocho Cinco's career in the NFL.
I don't know that this is working for the benefit of you, me, the Miami Dolphins, or anybody else.
It's also probably safe to say he won't be making any reality TV appearances in the foreseeable future. Number 7. Chris Humphries. In the spring of 2011, Chris Humphries was on top of the world. Not only was he a breakout player on the New Jersey Nets, but he was also engaged to perhaps the most famous celebrity around, Kim Kardashian.
There's all sorts of tension between Kim and I. If we're fighting like this the day of the wedding, she will not be able to find me.
How things can change. Sure, Kris and Kim's wedding was an extravagant two-part special on E!, causing a media frenzy in the process, but the holy union only lasted a measly 72 days, making it one of the shortest in Hollywood history.
I would make jokes. I'd come out every night and I'd say, they've been married 72 days. I said, I got the cottage cheese older than 72 days.
Mocked relentlessly by late-night hosts and anyone with a Twitter account, Humphries was no longer a basketball star, but simply that guy who married Kim Kardashian on TV that one time.
I think that if people know me and they know who I am and what I stand for, I think that they'll know that I love to give back, and I'm a fun guy, and I don't really play into all the gossip and things that take place, but it's life.
Number 6, Adrienne Bailon Houghton. Adrienne Bailon Houghton carved out a name for herself as an actor and singer with Disney Channel's franchise The Cheetah Girls. She soon found herself in the reality limelight when she began dating Rob Kardashian in 2007. As a result, she appeared in their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Although they broke up a couple of years after he cheated, her brief appearance in the show tarnished Bailon Houghton's career. During one interview, she claimed that the show even harmed her working prospects.
I'm really gonna miss you.
So what do we do from here?
I love you.
There was a time when she only acted in music videos and small productions. But in 2013, Bailon Houghton began hosting The Real, which earned her several awards as she found a new role as a host. Number 5, Jessica Simpson. Okay, so Jessica Simpson isn't the only pop star to get a bad rap on reality TV. But while others, like Britney Spears, were able to overcome their toxic TV experiences, Simpson was not so lucky. It didn't help that the show, Newlyweds Nick and Jessica, really put Simpson's naive personality on display, playing up her dumb blonde persona.
I didn't know to have expectations going into marriage. I just kind of thought it was the fairy tale. You kiss your groom, you say I do, and you live happily ever after, and the shoe always fits. But there's some days when your foot swells.
I don't know what I was thinking about. I always do it. Which piles are yours and which piles are mine?
Perhaps the most famous example of this comes when Jessica, snacking from a chicken of the sea tuna can, questions what it is she's actually eating.
Maybe you and I have eaten tuna like this before.
Why is it called chicken by the sea or in the sea?
Chicken of the Sea is the brand. Because a lot of people eat tuna, it's like a lot of people eat chicken, so it's like the chicken of the sea.
Okay, I understand that. I read it wrong.
And to be fair, Simpson's then-husband Nick Lachey didn't fare much better when the show and their relationship ended. But hey, at least they got to kick off that MTV relationship curse.
Thanks for cooking, babe. Oh, it's very, very good.
It's stressful cooking.
It's good, though.
So what are you gonna make me?
What do you want? See if I can get it catered in.
Number 4, Hulk Hogan.
Well, I have a problem with people looking at her, at my daughter. I don't want any idiots around. I just want to let everybody know. Curfew is 8 o'clock.
He's body slammed a giant, battled an ultimate warrior, and led a new world order. But the one thing that Hulk Hogan was unable to conquer? Reality TV. The VH1 series Hogan Knows Best put the spotlight on the Hulkster's family life, including his relationship with then-wife Linda. The couple's problems became obvious throughout the show, however, leading to a nasty divorce shortly after its cancellation.
No, you turn around and you act like I'm supposed to take care of everything here in the house. I'm supposed to handle the kitchen, the damn bills, the phone's ringing. Hey, Paul, how are you? I'm gonna have to get back to you about that.
Well, I'm sorry to be a horse's ass about this, but it's like we've gone over this 100 times. Keep her out of my bathroom.
Fine.
Done with it.
No problem. More time to spend helping me with my stuff.
Making matters worse, Hogan's son Nick got in a car accident, seriously injuring his friend and landing him jail time. According to Hulk himself, the show exasperated the family's troubles. Apparently, Hogan didn't quite know best when agreeing to a reality show.
My back's sweating, you do this. That gets the sweat off your back. Let's go!
I know! Number 3, Kanye West. Did anyone really expect Kanye West to not appear on Keeping Up with the Kardashians? It's no secret that West loves the spotlight.
You know what's fire about that, and just why we're so blessed, is like to be able to get the mentors. Like that means the universe really wants this to happen. Like it's beautiful, it's like your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. From day one, Kanye has always been someone in my life who's always pushed me to do what I want to do, no matter what the rules are, no matter what people say. So the fact that he is supporting me in this journey, knowing that for the next 4 years, it would take time away from him and our kids, means a lot to me and gives me the confidence that I really need.
Whether it's giving an impromptu performance on the SNL stage or crashing an award show acceptance speech, Kanye is all about, well, Kanye. And so, popping up on his then-wife's mega-hit reality show was inevitable.
But shouldn't I just keep this for, like, my daughter one day?
Sometimes silence is the best response. You have to let her do her thing. She's a professional.
I promise you I'll be kind. Baby steps.
Unfortunately, many said his appearances on the program led to overexposure, taking his status down a notch. Though his subsequent controversial behavior off the show also contributed to this, his mental health issues shouldn't be ignored either. There's no denying that numerous fans and critics wished the rapper would lay off the show altogether, however.
Got a conversation going right here. So Spirit's saying, with you, I gotta worry about heart problems with you later on. Yeah.
Fried chicken.
A little bit of a neurotransmitter deficiency on the left side.
With my brain?
Yeah. You have to be on high electrolytes. That's because he runs hot up here because he's creating and creating and creating. But it's nothing scary, nothing wrong there. I mean, you look good. You look good.
Number 2, Caitlyn Jenner.
Hey, pretty.
Yeah, I know. Hey, baby! I didn't know you were here. Where did you just sneak in?
Hey, Grandma.
Little Kylie made it. Mom's in the chair.
Are you getting pretty?
I'm having fun.
Oh, yay!
Upon her public arrival and subsequent exit from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Caitlyn Jenner became a strong voice for the often voiceless, championing the transgender community on her own reality show, I Am Kate. Caitlyn was a renowned inspiration. That all changed, however, when Jenner revealed that she was a Ted Cruz and President Trump supporter.
Just because I'm a woman now doesn't make me all of a sudden liberal.
Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump?
Oh, my God, yes. I would never, ever, ever vote for Hillary. We're done.
Oh,
if Hillary becomes president, the country is over.
Caitlyn's fans found her opinions to be hypocritical, especially considering Cruz was a vocal supporter of the controversial anti-trans bathroom bills. Angry and disappointed, viewers stopped watching in droves, and I Am Kate got canceled after only 2 short seasons. Did no one tell Caitlyn that with great power comes great responsibility?
They're not my people if they're against this issue. So, big deal. I'm not like cheering them on.
You are. You're voting for Ted Cruz. You're cheering him on.
Because I think he can take care of the big issues.
It's not either or. You can't say you're not cheering people on and then say Ted Cruz, who uses trans as a slur any chance he gets. Nah.
Number 1, Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was a well-respected player for the Los Angeles Lakers when he started dating Khloe Kardashian and appearing regularly on her family's popular reality series.
And it's now my privilege to ask, who gives this woman to be married to this man?
My wife, Chris, and I.
It wasn't long before the couple spun off their own show, launching themselves into celebrity power couple territory.
Like, is it like a tease?
Big time.
That's how I feel. I think it's a tease, too. It's like no point to get too comfortable.
Too comfortable.
Are you ready for the game?
I know how nervous he is for the game, and I can't really imagine how that feels and that pressure.
Things quickly fell apart, however, when Khloe filed for divorce amid infidelity rumors, and Lamar went down a dark rabbit hole of substance use disorder that nearly cost him his life.
Could you even fathom what your body had been through?
No, I mean, I really still can't. All my doctors say I'm a walking miracle.
Is your memory affected by your coma?
Yeah.
Physically, though? I mean,
Yeah,
your
it's
body's
really
been
bad.
through a lot.
No, but I could take anything. I've played professional basketball since then.
No longer with the NBA, Odom has been fighting an uphill battle to get his life back on track ever since. If we've learned anything, it's that perhaps dating a Kardashian can be hazardous to one's health. Which celebrity career actually improved due to being on reality TV?
As we're about to see, YouTubers are not immune to having their careers destroyed. It only takes one moment of poor judgment.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most infamous times a well-known YouTuber wrecked their career, tarnished their reputation, or lost major opportunities after an on-camera scandal came to light.
Disney has dropped one of YouTube's most popular stars.
Number 10, Laura Lee. In 2018, Beauty YouTube was thrown into Dramageddon as one scandal after another came out. Laura Lee was one such influencer who found her reputation in tatters after historical racist social media posts were discovered.
So sorry, you guys.
As the backlash grew, Lee released an apology video that soon became notorious as many viewers saw it as insincere.
I have no excuses here today. I'm not here to give you an excuse. I have no excuses.
Regardless, it didn't stop 300,000 subscribers from leaving her channel and causing a host of sponsors and business associates to drop her. Reportedly, various stores such as BoxyCharm and Ulta Beauty stopped selling Laura Lee Los Angeles cosmetics products. As a result, the original apology was deleted by Lee's channel and replaced with another a month later.
I'm taking the video down because it doesn't represent me well. I am not taking the video down to try to hide it from you guys or pretend like it didn't happen.
Number 9, Troll Station. Practical joke channels tend to reach the point where they go too far. And in 2015, the time came for Troll Station.
Are you guys get the pens? Are you guys get the pens?
The Ensemble channel staged 2 robberies at the National Portrait Gallery and the Tate Britain Gallery in London, England. At the first location, a stampede of visitors rushing for the exits caused injuries while one woman passed out from fear. At the second, a fake kidnapping took place. Unsurprisingly, the members that took part were arrested.
Tell them it's a prank. Tell them no. It's only...
In 2016, after pleading guilty to the 2 charges, each person was sentenced to 8 weeks for the Tate Britain event. For the Portrait Gallery, they received jail time between 12 to 20 weeks.
And when you run around the museum with gloves and masks on, screaming, "Let's get out of here, it's a robbery," you're gonna freak a lot of people out.
Number 8, Ravana. When you run a lifestyle channel, you have to practice what you preach. Otherwise, people will find out and will be furious.
I know that so many of you trust me, you listen to me, and you probably feel deceived and lied to.
Well, in 2019, Giovanna Mendoza, under the name Ravana, made that error. As she was in Bali, the vegan influencer who sold plans on the lifestyle was recorded by a vlogger friend at a restaurant. However, if you look closely, you can see Mendoza trying to cover her plate. That's because she was consuming fish, which of course isn't vegan. As the backlash grew, Mendoza released a long apology video where she detailed her health problems that led to a change in her diet.
I'm human.
Later, Mendoza dropped the Ravana branding and pivoted her channel's content to her current lifestyle.
The onion liver is ready.
Number 7, it's Aria. Oh boy. In 2018, the UK had a series of terrifying acid attacks. With this going on, YouTuber Aria Masala, under the name It's Aria, chose to create a practical joke video on the streets of London.
The media kind of like demonized me.
In this part 2 content, he walked around with a cup and threw water into the faces of unsuspecting people. Of course, viewers were livid. After they removed the video from their platform, YouTube went further by deleting Masala's 650,000 sub channel. Masala then created a second account, and after putting up some videos, it was taken offline and hasn't had any new content since.
Congratulations to me.
In interviews, Masala apologized for the video and claimed it wasn't related to the real attacks.
For it to just get taken like that, it's not really like fair on me.
Number 6, Nicole Arbour. On top of being a former cheerleader, a singer, an actress, a comedian, and a choreographer, Nicole Arbour also has her own YouTube channel. And this latter career got her in a host of trouble in 2015 after releasing the video Dear Fat People.
Fat shaming is not a thing.
The cringy skit was rife with fat-phobic content that angered the public.
Fat shaming is a thing. It's a really big thing, no pun intended.
While Arbour claimed it was meant to be satire, YouTube briefly removed the content before allowing it back on. The backlash even caused Arbor to be dropped from working on the 2017 film Don't Talk to Irene. Later, she stated she made the video for marketing reasons, which explains the similar videos that followed, as well as a part 2 to Dear Fat People.
Shit doesn't make sense anymore.
Number 5. Ned Fulmer. Labeled as the wife guy as part of the Try Guys, Ned Fulmer promoted his devotion to his family with his partner Ariel and their children.
His hat! His hat! Hats off to that.
But in 2022, something strange was going on with the channel. Seemingly, Fulmer was nowhere to be seen and appeared to be edited out of content. Rumors then began to leak, and eventually there was visual confirmation. Fulmer had been having an affair with channel producer Alex Herring. With the vast inappropriateness of a boss having relations with a subordinate, the Try Guys released a statement and a video that confirmed Fulmer had been dropped by the company due to the controversy.
We want to give you a timeline of what's transpired and some transparency into our decision making.
Since then, Fulmer has vanished from social media while the channel continues on.
The clock is ticking, so away we go!
Number 4. Brooke Houts. As a channel that featured lifestyle videos, Brooke Houts also got her dog Sphinx into some content. But in 2019, the behind-the-scenes cruelty between human and pet was accidentally exposed.
Brooke Houts will not be charged in connection with a video posted to YouTube.
As Houts released a video about playing a practical joke on her Doberman, some clips were included that showed her hitting, pushing, and seemingly spitting on Sphinx.
Houts denies claims that she abuses animals and insists her dog was not in pain.
While the segments were removed and the video was re-uploaded, it was too late. People were absolutely livid at the clips, and there were calls for the police to intervene. While they investigated and ultimately didn't take action, Houts eventually deleted her channel.
But I want to make it known, regardless of what my dog does, I should not have acted that way towards him.
When she attempted a comeback, she later explained Sphinx had been rehomed. However, the return collapsed, and Houts has seemingly retired from content creation. Number 3. PewDiePie. As famous as Felix Schellberg, better known as PewDiePie, is, he could have been so much more had he not thrown it away in 2017 with a terrible judgment and content.
Like, I'm not guilt-free in this situation by any means.
At the time, he created a video where he paid people on the job website Fiverr to do controversial things, including getting people to hold up an anti-Semitic sign.
The Wall Street Journal launched an investigation into the 27-year-old Swedish comedian, real name Felix Schellberg. It found 9 videos on his channel dating back to August that had anti-Semitic jokes or showed Nazi imagery.
While Schellberg apologized and claimed the video was to showcase the state of the modern world, the backlash was bad. This, mixed with further incidents of anti-Semitism and racist incidents in his content, led to Schellberg being dropped from the Disney Digital Network community, previously called the Maker Studios. He also had his YouTube Red web series Scare PewDiePie canceled after 1 season.
Sorry, how you doing, man? Good.
Number 2. Sam Pepper. Once again, a practical joke channel came into controversy. But this time, it wasn't with 1 incident, but 2 that destroyed a popular creator.
So Sam Pepper went to the 3rd Street Promenade, and he had a fake arm that looked like his hand was in his pocket.
In 2014, Sam Pepper released a video where he went up to women and pinched their buttocks when talking to them, which he claimed was a social experiment. Yikes. This caused a host of people to come forward with assault and harassment allegations about Pepper.
Meanwhile, Lacey Green wrote an open letter to Sam Pepper saying, please stop violating women and making them feel uncomfortable on the street for views.
In 2015, he faked the kidnapping of Sam Goldback and Colby Brock. Pepper then pretended to slay Brock, disturbing viewers further with a very upset Goldback. The outrage was loud. After apologizing, Pepper deleted most of his YouTube videos, attempted a brief rebrand, and launched a comedy TikTok.
Oh no, I tripped and did something funny.
Number 1. Logan Paul. Logan Paul became one of YouTube's standout stars. It seemed like he was on the verge of breaking into the starry lights of Hollywood. But then he visited Japan in 2017, and that all vanished.
I should have never posted the video. I should have put the cameras down.
After a host of issues in the country, in one particular video, Paul and his team discover a body in a notorious forest. While the person was censored, Paul and his team's reaction was bizarre and uncomfortable. People were livid, turning the Paul brand into the most toxic around.
Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner calling him an idiot.
Various films, TV shows, and web series that featured Paul were paused or canceled. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also distanced himself from the creator.
How are you, bro? What's up, brother?
Since then, Paul still has his channel, but he's pivoted to a boxing and wrestling career. On a lighter note, which YouTube channel is your go-to for wholesome content?
The individuals making up our next unfortunate group are reporters. And let's just say they learned the hard way that sometimes words can cut deeper than a knife.
All his charmingness went away, and he said the words, "You can forget all the business advice I gave you. You're on your own."
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at infamous times a news or sports reporter wrecked their career and the repercussions they faced.
Vacation, what is that like?
Number 20, AJ Clemente. On the first day of a new job, most people, especially on TV, want to make it memorable. However, AJ Clemente became famous for all the wrong reasons. In 2013, he was the new weekend co-anchor for the NBC affiliate news program KFYR TV in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Good evening, I'm Van Tu. You may have seen our newest report, AJ, on NBC North Dakota News.
Yet seconds into the opening, Clemente mumbled multiple swear words on live TV, leaving co-host Van Tu to pretend that wasn't the worst news debut ever.
Thanks, Van. I'm very excited. I graduated from West Virginia University, and I'm used to, from being from the East Coast.
While Clemente apologized for his outburst, he was still fired by KFYR TV. Instead of marinating in the scandal, the former news anchor quickly returned to his previous job as a bartender in Delaware, as offers to be on reality TV trickled in.
Were you aware that you were on the air?
I had no clue. I had no... Y'all so wrong for that.
Number 19, Trent Evans. At one time, Trent Evans was enjoying life as an award-winning TV reporter for Australia's Channel 7 in Queensland. However, in 2016, as the pressures of the job mounted, his mental health deteriorated, causing him to leave his position. Evans spent several years struggling financially and getting help from mental health services. In 2021, he and Rex Willocks spent the day drinking several bottles of champagne in Melbourne. Evans then drove Willocks' car with the owner in the passenger seat. After driving nearly double the speed limit, the vehicle struck a power pole. While Evans survived, Willocks sadly didn't. In 2022, after pleading guilty, Evans was sentenced to 7 years and 10 months in jail. Number 18, James Gordon Meek. As well as working as an advisor to the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security, James Gordon Meek was also an investigative producer for ABC news programs such as 2020 and Nightline, specializing in national security. However, all the respect he had accumulated over the years evaporated in 2022. That year, Meek was arrested by the FBI for possession of indecent child-focused media and exchanging them with other people. Meek quickly vanished from the public life after resigning from ABC, causing a lot of speculation in the media. In 2023, after pleading guilty to the offense, the former reporter was sentenced to 6 years in jail. Number 17, Tom Brenneman. When it comes to apologizing, sincerity really matters. Otherwise, you could become a viral meme.
I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I'm going to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck.
Since 1994, Tom Brenneman had worked for Fox Sports, typically covering football and baseball. In 2020, he was commenting on the Cincinnati Reds and Kansas City Royals. During it, Brenneman used a homophobic slur when talking about San Francisco that went out live.
I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of.
Just before he was pulled from the game, Brenneman attempted to apologize and use his faith as an excuse.
I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith.
However, during it, he suddenly got distracted by calling a Nick Castellanos home run before switching back to his apology. It was bonkers.
There's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Brenneman was soon fired by Fox. Since the incident, he has worked with Puerto Rico's Roberto Clemente League and Chatterbox Sports.
When you were a younger guy, it was just a word. I've come to learn the real root of that word.
Number 16, Sabrina Erdely. In 2014, the world of education was rocked by Sabrina Erdely's article for Rolling Stone about student Jackie Coakley's account of a horrible incident at the University of Virginia.
Jackie did go to the school to report her allegations, and the school did absolutely nothing.
Coakley spoke about how she was assaulted in 2012 by a group as part of a fraternity initiation ritual. The article also explored the university's lack of support for her. However, as the media examined the story in more detail, Erdely's article wasn't adding up, and her bias was questioned. A police investigation also found no evidence to support the article's claims. In 2015, Rolling Stone retracted the story.
It was terrible journalism, and it really was done with reckless disregard for the truth.
Regardless, the magazine and Erdely faced several defamation lawsuits. In 2017, Rolling Stone settled one case with the University of Virginia for $1.65 million. Number 15. Dan Rather. Starting in 1962, Dan Rather worked for CBS in various capacities, even anchoring CBS Evening News. Seemingly, he was going to retire at the company. However, that changed in 2004 when Rather hosted a 60 Minutes 2, exploring what were called the Killian documents. These papers were apparently written in 1973 and contained criticism of President George W. Bush's time at the Texas Air National Guard.
Mr. Bush was suspended from flying on August 1st, 1972. That date matches the one on a memo given to CBS News.
However, after their release, their authenticity was questioned, as they appear to have been written with modern typography.
Those who found the story uncomfortable for their partisan political purposes attacked us at what they knew to be the weakest point, which was the document.
After defending the papers, Rather and CBS admitted they were wrong. In 2005, Rather stepped down from his anchor role and was fired the following year. He attempted to sue CBS, only to have the case thrown out.
The darkest period of my professional career, I'd much rather a movie be made about my coverage of civil rights or Watergate or Vietnam War, but life's not like that.
Number 14. Don Lemon. In 2006, Don Lemon joined CNN. By 2014, he was becoming one of the news's most well-known faces as he was showcased across the channel's programming as a host. But then things took a turn. In 2023, Lemon was heavily criticized for the misogynistic comments he made about Nikki Haley not being in her prime, as she was not in her 20s, 30s, or 40s.
Politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime.
Yikes. Not long after, Variety reported on allegations that Lemon had a history of misogynistic and abusive comments toward female colleagues. As the scandal grew, CNN fired Lemon. In 2024, the former anchor received around $24.5 million from his former employers as part of a separation deal. Number 13. Ken Rosado.
All right, Heather, thank you. 541. Still ahead on Eyewitness News this morning. New guidelines issued for New York educators.
Having joined New York's WABC TV in 2003 as a reporter, the Emmy Award-winning Ken Rosado eventually became the channel's anchor for Eyewitness News this morning. Yet, after decades in the business, in 2023, Rosado found himself in hot water. Reportedly, he was heard calling co-host Shirlene Alicott an insult on an open microphone. While the show was off-air and the audio wasn't broadcast to the viewing audience, it was heard by production staff in the studio. There were allegations the comment was offensive.
No matter the racism and the prejudice that I experienced, because I experienced it.
However, Rosado's representatives denied this to be the case. Regardless, WABC TV moved quickly and fired the anchor.
Heather?
Yes.
What do you have for us?
We're not looking too good.
Number 12. Charlie Rose. Charlie Rose was noted for his work on both CBS and PBS, hosting a self-titled talk show for the latter. He was one of the most famous interviewers on U.S. television, but in 2017, all of that fell apart.
And when she reported a good deal of this, the executive producer's reaction was to treat her like she was, quote, a dramatic little girl.
The Washington Post released an article with allegations of Rose's sexual misconduct against several women who were his employees or hoping to be.
Most of these women that we talked to were working for him at a very early stage in their careers. So for them, I think that there would be a tremendous risk, to speaking out.
After a brief suspension, Rose was fired by CBS and PBS as he apologized for his behavior. By 2018, 35 women had accused him of harassment, resulting in lawsuits against him. Rose attempted to dismiss one case by claiming the women were exploiting the Me Too movement. In 2022, he began releasing interviews on his own website. Number 11. Tucker Carlson. In 2009, Tucker Carlson found his home with Fox News after working with other channels.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight.
He got his own show with Tucker Carlson Tonight in 2016, soon becoming one of the channel's most watched series. But in 2023, that relationship abruptly ended when Carlson was fired by Fox. While no reason was given immediately, reports soon came out about Carlson's behind-the-scenes attitude.
The truth is, a lot of rank-and-file Fox staffers never liked Tucker Carlson. They viewed him as this other guy off doing his own thing, separate from the rest of the network.
It's alleged he sent several inflammatory messages about Fox higher-ups and used racist language. With that and other incidents, there were liability concerns from the network's lawyers.
It was neither an insurrection nor deadly.
Afterward, Carlson created the Tucker Carlson Network and released controversial interviews there and on X, formerly Twitter. Number 10, Brian Williams.
I want to apologize. I said I was traveling in an aircraft that was hit by RPG fire. I was instead in a following aircraft.
Brian Williams was a high-profile managing editor and anchor for NBC Nightly News. But in 2015, his rep took a big hit due to allegations concerning his coverage of the 2003 invasion of Iraq. At first, Williams claimed he had been in a helicopter in Iraq that had to land after another chopper was nearly struck by an RPG.
When the helicopter we were traveling in was forced down after being hit by an RPG. Our traveling NBC News team was rescued, surrounded, and kept alive by an armored mechanized platoon from the U.S. Army 3rd Infantry.
Over the years, his story changed to his aircraft needing to land after being hit. Soldiers who were there at the time contested the newer versions of Williams' story. While the anchor eventually apologized for exaggeration, the damage was done, and he was suspended and eventually moved to a lesser position.
After 28 years of Peacock logos on much of what I own, it is my choice now to jump without a net into the great unknown.
Number 9, Ivory Hecker.
Before we get to that story, I want to let you, the viewers, know that Fox Corp has been muzzling me to keep certain information from you, the viewers.
It's not often a reporter purposely tanks their career live on TV, but in 2021, that's what Ivory Hecker did on the local news affiliate Fox 26 Houston. On the air, Hecker launched into a rant that Fox had been what she called muzzling her and other reporters about topics she wanted to cover.
From what I'm gathering, I am not the only reporter being subjected to this. I am going to be releasing some recordings about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox.
She stated she would release secret recordings made with the right-wing activist group Project Veritas. These revolved around promoting the disproven hydroxychloroquine as a COVID-19 treatment. After being initially suspended for her on-air outburst, unsurprisingly, Hecker was fired.
I found a nonprofit journalism group called Project Veritas. It's going to help put that out tomorrow, so tune into them.
Number 8, Aaron Calvin.
Abandoned by the Register. That's what former Des Moines Register reporter Aaron Calvin told BuzzFeed that he feels like after being fired from the paper earlier this week.
It started with a man named Carson King in the background of ESPN's College Game Day coverage, holding a jokey sign with his Venmo stating he needed beer money. After a big response, King started raising money for the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital and finished his campaign with millions in donations. During the fame, reporter Aaron Calvin did a profile on King for the Des Moines Register, in which he mentioned the fundraiser's problematic social media account from years before when he was a teen.
But then it started to fall apart. A reporter at the Des Moines Register found insensitive tweets King wrote 8 years ago when he was 16, reportedly based off a Comedy Central show, Tosh.0. Remember that show?
After making the post and King's apology, Calvin was harassed, had his life threatened, and his own potentially problematic tweets parsed. Eventually, the Des Moines Register fired Calvin.
The latest twist, that reporter had his own old insensitive tweets and now has been fired. Yes.
Number 7, Lydia Cumming.
It's a photo that seems to show ordinary people lending a hand to a flood victim. Or does it?
It's usually not great when a reporter becomes a viral meme. But that's what happened to reporter Lydia Cumming in 2016 as she covered a flood in Puebla, Mexico for TV Azteca. Taken by a photographer at the scene, Cumming was hoisted up in the air by 2 locals, seemingly to avoid her shoes getting wet.
Lydia Cumming is a 24-year-old reporter who hitched a ride with this couple while reporting on devastating floods in Mexico.
After the image got out, she was photoshopped into all sorts of situations. However, TV Azteca was less than impressed with the social media fame. They fired Cumming for disrespectfully using local residents in a trying time.
Why doesn't she take off her shoes instead? Another post, you would think that wearing maybe rain boots in a flooded area would be common sense.
In an interview afterward, Cumming claimed the residents wanted to show her their elderly disabled neighbor and offered to carry her, which she briefly agreed to. Number 6. Rick Sanchez.
I don't mind Sanchez at all until today, where he really stepped in it.
After joining CNN in 2004 as a reporter, Rick Sanchez quickly rose up the ranks as a news anchor, even getting his own program with Rick's List. But in 2010, that vanished when he appeared on SiriusXM's radio program Stand Up with Pete Dominic.
Pete has actually worked for Jon Stewart in the past, so he's defending Stewart obviously throughout.
Angered by reports about his show's time slot being replaced and with Jon Stewart for comedic jabs at him, Sanchez called Stewart a bigot. Sanchez then claimed CNN and other networks discriminated against him and made comments about Stewart's ethnic background and the news business. Very unsurprisingly, Sanchez was soon fired by CNN and later joined Fox.
You were the host of that show on a competing network, by the way, and you kind of introduced me into this whole thing. And look what
happened from there.
Number 5. Bill O'Reilly. After making his name on various channels, in 1996, Bill O'Reilly joined the brand new Fox News and was handed his own show, The O'Reilly Factor.
You are about to enter the no spin zone.
He regularly courted controversy, but that didn't stop him from becoming one of the country's biggest political commentators.
It's a good place to work, all right? We do good work. We do honest work there.
But then, in 2017, the New York Times released an article detailing sexual misconduct lawsuits issued against O'Reilly.
You said at the time you did absolutely nothing wrong. Correct. Do you stand by that?
I do.
It stated that Fox had helped him settle cases issued by 5 women at the cost of $13 million. Quickly, advertisers began dropping the O'Reilly Factor.
And he caught up with me and said, no, come back to my suite. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then he became hostile. All his charmingness went away.
After another lawsuit was discovered that was settled for $32 million, Fox and his talent agencies fired O'Reilly. Since then, he's hosted the show and podcast No Spin News and had a speaking tour with Donald Trump. Number 4. Marley Rivera.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you speak English now. I'm sorry, speaking English. I'm sorry.
As a reporter for ESPN and the Spanish language channel ESPN Deportes, Marley Rivera was one of the biggest names in sports journalism. After all, she was included in the Sports Illustrated article, The 30 Most Influential Hispanics in Sports in 2017. But in 2023, that reputation took a hit. Before a New York Yankees game, freelancer Yvonne Gaetti tried to interview Aaron Judge, but Rivera argued with Gaetti that she had already scheduled an interview with the MLB star. The face-off was recorded, which included Rivera using an expletive while insulting Gaetti.
Excuse me, did you record that, right? What? I wasn't talking about you.
To make it worse for Rivera, Gaetti is married to the MLB Vice President of Communications, John Blundell. While Rivera apologized, Gaetti reportedly rejected it, and Rivera was soon fired by ESPN.
Rivera would admit she and her fellow reporter have had disagreements in the past.
Number 3. Chris Cuomo.
You know, the biggest media story this weekend. It's the firing of Chris Cuomo from this network, CNN.
Prominent anchor and journalist Chris Cuomo joined CNN in 2013 and eventually got his own program, Cuomo Primetime. And with his brother Andrew Cuomo being the governor of New York, he had some pretty good connections. Well, that was until multiple misconduct allegations came out about the governor.
And a former female colleague has now come forward accusing Chris Cuomo of sexual misconduct. He denies any wrongdoing.
While Cuomo publicly stated he couldn't talk about the story due to his close connection, reportedly behind the scenes, the anchor and licensed attorney advised his brother on dealing with the scandal and used his sources to gather information on the accusers. After being briefly suspended by CNN during an investigation, Cuomo was let go by the network in 2021.
A CNN spokesperson saying overnight, when the new allegation came to us this week, quote, we took them seriously and saw no reason to delay taking immediate action.
Number 2, Megyn Kelly.
It seemed okay. Well, I was wrong, and I am sorry.
After leaving Fox, Megyn Kelly became one of the highest paid anchors when she joined NBC in 2017. And one of her main tasks was hosting her own talk show, Megyn Kelly Today. Yet in 2018, one segment in particular caused a massive scandal for Kelly. As a panel discussed the topic of offensive blackface, Kelly stated when she was a child, that was okay as long as people were playing a character. She then defended the actions of Luann de Lesseps, who was criticized when cosplaying as Diana Ross.
People said that was racist. And I don't know, I thought like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day. I don't know how that got racist on Halloween.
Days later, Kelly's show was canceled. In early 2019, she was dropped by NBC, but also received the remaining $30 million from her contract.
Parties have resolved their differences, and Megyn Kelly is no longer an employee of NBC.
Number 1, Matt Lauer.
Lauer was scheduled to host the Rockefeller Center tree lighting. As you guys know, he was not there last night.
After joining NBC in 1992, Matt Lauer would become one of the network's most recognizable and marketable faces. On top of being an anchor for the Today Show, Matt Lauer also hosted the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the Olympic Games opening ceremonies. Then in 2017, NBC received a detailed report from a female colleague accusing Lauer of harassment that began during the coverage of the 2014 Winter Olympics in Russia.
NBC News can report 2 additional women came forward to the network after the news initially broke.
After an investigation by the networks, they fired the host from his hosting and reporting duties. And not long after, further allegations came out about Lauer during his time at NBC.
And we were told some very shocking and disturbing stories, which are a stark contrast to the Matt Lauer that everybody has known for over 20 years.
Which reporter is the most beloved of all time? Walter Cronkite, Ann Curry, Trevor McDonald, or someone else?
Thanks, and you know, that's a part of growing and learning and
For a comedian, the joke is everything. However, a joke can also take them from the top of their game to the bottom of the barrel.
When asked to make a wish, Kyle answered, "Don't miss Trump next time."
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at times high-profile individuals severely damaged their star status with just one joke.
I didn't break the law. I didn't do anything wrong. That photo is very much covered by the First Amendment.
Number 10, Kyle Gass.
Men joined forces and they formed a band they called Tenacious D. That's me!
One half of the comedy rock duo Tenacious D, Kyle Gass found himself in plenty of hot water following a joke he made about Donald Trump.
While celebrities taking aim at Trump is nothing out of the ordinary, the joke in question pertained to the assassination attempt on the divisive political figure.
Performing at the ICC Sydney Theatre the day after a bullet grazed Trump's ear at a campaign rally, Gass quipped, quote, "Don't miss Trump next time," in response to his birthday wish.
As his longtime bandmate celebrated his birthday with a cake and candles on stage in Australia. When asked to make a wish, Kyle answered, "Don't miss Trump next time."
Many condemn the line as both inappropriate and dangerous, with Jack Black noting that he was blindsided by his bandmate's remark, immediately canceling their tour in the process.
I'll get you, Tenacious D.
Number 9, Juliana Rancic. Fashion Police host Juliana Rancic made headlines for all the wrong reasons during the show's coverage of the 2015 Oscars red carpet. Commenting on actress Zendaya sporting dreadlocks, Rancic joked that she looked like she smelled of, quote, patchouli oil or weed.
Here we have Zendaya. This hair to me overwhelms her. Like, I feel like she smells like patchouli oil. Or weed. Yeah, maybe weed?
The comment was quickly denounced as racist and culturally insensitive, prompting a surge of online criticism, including those in the industry.
You need to call Zendaya, Juliana, and apologize.
For her part, Rancic apologized for the remark, but the damage was done. Her reputation took a severe hit, and her role at E! Was significantly diminished. Number 8, Charles Rocket.
Good evening, I'm Charles Rocket with Weekend Update.
Charles Rocket was infamously hired for Saturday Night Live during the 1980-1981 season as a replacement for OG cast members Bill Murray and Chevy Chase.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's just great.
Hey, let's see, you're the one...
Go kind of a cross between Chevy Chase and Bill Murray.
Talk about big shoes to fill. Unfortunately, things never panned out for Rocket. This thanks to a single one-liner in the final moments of an episode. In a parody of Dallas's Who Shot JR, Rocket ad-libbed the forbidden 4-letter F word.
Charlie, how are you feeling after you've been shot?
Oh man, it's the first time I've been shot in my life. I'd like to know who did it.
While it got shocked laughs from the audience, the profanity, and behind-the-scenes dissatisfaction with his performance, ultimately led to his outing. While Rocket's starring days were over, he was still able to land steady work in the years following.
Aren't you gonna invite me in?
Number 7. Danny Mathers. As a Playboy playmate, Danny Mathers once symbolized sensual beauty.
That all changed following a poor social media joke, as she quickly took on the symbol of a cruel tormentor.
Mathers' woes began when she posted a photo on Snapchat of a nude elderly woman in a gym shower area. It was accompanied by the caption, quote, "If I can't unsee this, then you can't either." The post was widely condemned for its body shaming, not to mention violation of privacy.
Playboy fired her. She became a pariah.
What are the worst things that people have said about you?
The worst things I can't repeat on television.
In fact, the model was later charged with invasion of privacy, resulting in community service and probation. Unsurprisingly, the scandal effectively ended Mathers' modeling career.
I'm sorry.
Number 6. Dina Hashem.
All that. For me, the last appeal of getting married is to get to stop grooming down there.
New York City comedian Dina Hashem found herself at the center of controversy after making a joke about the death of rapper XXXTentacion. Occurring during a Comedy Central set, Hashem mused about how his death could have been, quote, "a commercial for Venmo." This because he was on his way to buy a car with $50,000 in cash and somebody shot him, taking the money. The bit not only angered XXXTentacion's fans, but also the rapper's family. The incident led to a widespread call for boycotts and even death threats. The clip was pulled by Comedy Central, and despite apologizing, Hashem faced significant professional setbacks.
Hello. Nice to see you. Let's be friends, huh?
Number 5. Shane Gillis. In 2019, Shane Gillis got the news so many comedians dream of. He was going to be a cast member on Saturday Night Live. Unfortunately, the excitement was short-lived. Soon after the public announcement, clips resurfaced of Gillis making racist and homophobic jokes on the online show Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. The criticism was swift, with Gillis being fired from the gig days later.
It's very, very crazy. I don't know. It's tough to... There's not many people that you can even talk to about it.
While the controversy overshadowed his talents and derailed his mainstream career at the time, Gillis has since found some success. Ironically, this included a hosting stint on SNL.
I was fired from this show a while ago, but don't look that up, please.
The appearance was well received, making it unfortunate that he blew his chance at being a weekly fixture on the sketch comedy series.
Preach, brother!
Number 4. Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh boy, was that stupid or what? It was very stupid. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack or something.
Gilbert Gottfried, known for his distinctive voice, was no stranger to edgy humor. This despite having significant roles in family-friendly films and TV series.
Oh boy, he's cracked. He's gone nuts.
And while many of Gottfried's jokes have been accused of crossing the line, it was his quip about the 2011 Japanese tsunami on Twitter that caused the most backlash. The widely condemned jokes were seen as overly insensitive, so much so that they cost him his long-standing role as the voice of the Aflac duck. The high-profile axing was a heavy blow against Gottfried's reputation, but he continued to perform in the years following, using the incident to bolster his status as a controversial comedian.
They fired me, got loads of free publicity out of it, and then hired a guy to imitate my voice for less money, thus bringing closure to a horrible tragedy.
Number 3. Kathy Griffin. The joke that sparked the most outrage against actress and comedian Kathy Griffin was not one that she spoke, but rather one that she posed for. Yep, in a controversial 2017 photo shoot, the comic held a prop resembling the severed head of then-President Donald Trump.
I really did just try to make a statement, and I truly didn't think people would think it was an actual severed head.
Many at the time failed to see the humor in the image, and it was quickly deemed violent and inappropriate.
Within hours of the picture going public, a torrent of backlash.
Left, right, and center turned on me. Everyone turned on me.
As a result, Griffin lost numerous gigs, faced an investigation by the Secret Service, and endured a significant public and professional fallout. Griffin's rise back to her previous status has been cumbersome and is still ongoing.
Griffin would retract the apology, calling the fallout faux outrage.
I realized the outrage and the pearl clutching really was.
Number 2. Michael Richards.
I'm out.
It was the year 2006, and Michael Richards was still basking in the public adoration for his role as Kramer on Seinfeld. However, that all changed in the blink of an eye during a stand-up routine at the Laugh Factory. Following some heckles from the audience, Richards went on a racist tirade, making offensive jokes and insults that incorporated a heavy use of racial slurs.
You guys have been talking and talking and talking. I don't know.
The incident, which was caught on camera, quickly went viral, shocking the public.
I lost my temper on stage.
Richards apologized but struggled to rebuild his career. During a 2024 media tour for his memoir, Entrances and Exits, the actor further opened up about the incident, noting that he canceled himself.
I needed to, in view of that kind of behavior. What the heck is behind all this, and losing it the way I lost it?
Number 1. Roseanne Barr.
What the hell were you thinking?
Just when Roseanne Barr's career was enjoying a renaissance in 2018, it quickly came to a screeching halt. The outspoken comedian had taken to social media and tweeted a joke that was widely viewed as racist. It was aimed at Valerie Jarrett, the former advisor to President Obama. In the post, Barr compared Jarrett to an ape. With that, ABC swiftly canceled the reboot of her hit TV show Roseanne, and Barr faced widespread condemnation from fans, colleagues, and the public.
ABC pulled the plug on the show, saying Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we've decided to cancel her show.
While the incident marked a dramatic fall from grace, Barr has since pushed back and found some semblance of a comeback amongst conservative audiences.
I try to be even more offensive.
Which of these ill-conceived jokes from celebrities shocked you the most?
Oh, God, that's too much to think about.
That's going to do it for this special look at all the many times people destroyed their careers. Thanks for watching. I've been Matt from Watch Mojo, and I'll see you next time.